Welcome to Pre-Calculus Notes for Exponents, Chapter 3.1. Go ahead and write the title and your name and what period you're in. Today we're going to look at some exponents. Hopefully these are super familiar to you. So we're just going to go through these examples quickly. So for example A, we have y, x to the third times x, y to the fourth. And so we're going to group some together. We have an x to the third and an x to the first, which gets x to the fourth. We have a y to the first and a y to the fourth, which gets y to the fifth. All right, example B, 3x squared, y to the negative first times 2x squared times x cubed, y to the negative first. So I'm going to take those coefficients first. 3 times 2 is 6. Group all my x's together. Looks like I've got 2, 4, 7 of them. And all my y's together, I've got y to the negative second, which moves down to the denominator and becomes positive exponents. So it simplifies all the way to 6x to the seventh over y to the second. Example C, we have 5x to the fourth all to the third power, which is like writing 5x to the fourth times 5x to the fourth times 5x to the fourth, if you want to think of it that way. Or you can just take the 5 and cube it. 5 cubed is 125. X to the fourth, x to the fourth, x to the fourth is x to the 12th. Okay. Example D, we have 3x to the fourth, y to the negative second, all to the power of negative 3. We can take that exponent of negative 3 and I think of it as backwards distributing to each of those exponents. So it becomes 3 to the negative third, which is going to move it down to the denominator, x to the negative 12, which is going to move it down to the denominator, and negative 2 times negative 3 is actually a positive 6, so that y to the 6th stays in the numerator. The whole thing simplifies to y to the 6th over 3 cubed, which is 27, x to the 12th. All right, example C, we have 2x to the fourth, y to the third over 4x, y to the seventh. Okay, so 2/4 obviously reduces to 1/2. We have an x to the fourth and an x to the first, so we're going to subtract the smaller one from the larger one. So 4 minus 1 is x to the third. The larger exponent is in the denominator, so we're going to subtract the 3 from the 7, and we get y to the fourth. And example D, 16x to the negative first, y to the second, times x to the negative second, y to the negative third, over 2 to the negative second, x to the negative first, y to the third, all to the power of negative 2. Okay, so let's see if we can simplify any here. Okay. We've got 16, and we've got an x to the negative first and an x to the negative second. Combine those two to get negative 3. A y to the second and a y to the negative third. Combine those to get negative 1. In the denominator, we're going to distribute backwards that power of negative 2 by multiplying by the other exponents. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So 2 to the fourth, which is 16, which is going to cancel with that other 16. Negative 2 to the times negative 1 is positive 2, and 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So that's actually going to move up to the denominator, add with that negative 1, which is going to combine to get us y to the fifth. And then what's left after the 16s have canceled, you have the x to the negative third and x to the second, so subtract a negative, which means basically just add. 2 plus 3 is going to get you x to the fifth into the denominator.